Hey y'all, it's Anthony from the Beta Network, and for today's vid, should you play FIFA 21? Let's find out. Now, last year's entry was somewhat of a big step for the franchise, the spotlight of course being firmly focused on the contentious Volta football. Though if you're wondering if there have been any major changes of a similar note in FIFA 21, you'll most likely be disappointed, as it's largely the same core foundation. I know, we're all familiar with the joke by now, you guys are buying the same game all over again, yada yada yada, but in all fairness, it does include a bunch of new functionalities and quality of life enhancements. There's actually too many to count here, but I will go over the major improvements. That being said, let's first discuss how the game flows. Playing FIFA 21, it almost always feels like there are more tactical options available. Players from the elite clubs, in particular, will often make quality, off-ball runs and persistently force defenders to stay sharp. Crosses are noticeably more effective too, especially with the new whipped cross, compared to how nerfed they were last year. And the newly added player control features allow for more time and space on the ball to pick out a pass or dribble around the opposition more effectively. One of the new features I adore is the agile dribbling ability. Holding the right shoulder button, players can speedily shift the ball between their feet to pass opponents in 1v1 contests. The trade-off is that it drains the stamina bar drastically, though you can steadily open up defenses with some seriously intricate touches, adding so much complexity and nuance to each contest. It may take a second or two to acclimate, but the potential usage of this feature seems boundless. The other major gameplay addition is creative runs. This allows for full control of up to 5 teammates after triggering a manual run, activated by tapping the left shoulder button and deciding a direction with the right stick. Players can run in any direction rather than simply towards the goal like in past titles. You can even lock in the person who has possession and make the run yourself like in Player Career. You can actually see a visual line for the player's run by turning on the trainer setting. Make sure you activate mechanics mode only, because let's be honest, nobody wants to see button prompts when playing FIFA. What's also really cool is the rewind gameplay option, exclusive to Kickoff. If you mess up a sweet goal scoring op, or just want to retry from a specific scenario, you can bring up the instant replay menu and scrub back to where you'd like, allowing you to replay sections to your heart's content. Now let's dive into career mode. First up is the authentic transfers feature, which prevents the top tier clubs from stealing all the best players. But as much as it sounds like, it doesn't really change the overall authentic experience much. Clubs like Real Madrid will still hoard the top range players and yet make some hysterically dumb transfers. It's unavoidable. There's also a loan to buy option available now, but man, watching the managers creepily mouth dialogue to each other is still oddly unsettling. Guys, I got a question for you all. Can we get the Beta Network to 1,000 subscribers before 2021? We'd be so pumped to deliver heaps more content to your YouTube homepage. So, if you're new to the channel, be sure to tap that red subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so you won't miss any of our videos. Thanks for the support. The newly added interactive match sim is unashamedly taken from the Football Manager series. FIFA does not have the same level of team fiddling and customization, but the bird's eye view icon visual approach is much more appealing to watch. It's an excellent substitute for playing a full match or pressing a button to quickly finalize the results. The overhead display seamlessly bridging the gap between the two other modes. You can also keep track of performance ratings and match stats whilst making subs and tactical changes in real time. What's even better is how you can resume normal gameplay at any moment you desire. So if your team's on the losing end of things, you can instantly jump in and attempt to salvage a result. Come on, you Spurs, let's try and win a game for once, eh? But in all honesty, more options are always welcomed in my book. And one of these new inclusions is how you can change the position of your current team members. Just like how Gareth Bale famously transitioned from fullback to winger, squads lacking certain positions can now be easily amended. saving you from acquiring new players to fill positional voids in your lineup. A very much appreciated calendar option lets you schedule in when your squad trains, rests, and recovers monthly. You can still simulate these drills, but there's more potential for bigger stat increases if you manually complete them. Though having the option to automate these processes, if you're not a huge fan, is a big plus. This year, managers will need to focus on fitness, morale, and sharpness to fire on all cylinders. Playing time and regular training are the two biggest factors for sharpness, which raises a player's main attributes. Hence, careful consideration is paramount to your club's success, even for the most casual manager out there. Does match sharpness come across as an unnecessary stat or a welcome change? I'm honestly not too sure myself. Let us know your thoughts on match sharpness in the comments, because I'm very curious how the FIFA community will respond. Now, Volta Football didn't have the most rapturous reception last year, and I don't think public perception will be much different this year. It's practically the exact same thing, plus a few extra modes here and there, but I'm still not hooked yet. Volta promotes a fast, trick-stick-based approach on the surface, but in actuality, there's no real incentive to pull off these moves. With FIFA Street 2, a beta network favorite, the game actively rewards you for utilizing tricks to blaze past defenders, as it's a lot tougher to outmaneuver them without using skill moves. Not to mention how game breakers literally perform their namesake. Since Volta pretty much has the same mechanics as the other modes, if I try and play fancy, I normally end up getting punished. So I'll just revert back to my normal FIFA gameplay, then ask myself, wait, why don't I just play Kickoff instead? EA should definitely take some notes from the FIFA Street series here. Now, Ultimate Team has a few new changes, the most awesome being the 2-player co-op in division rivals and squad battles. You and your teammate can even see the trainer visuals when playing together, so you're both on the same wavelength. Foot Events lets you pick a global team and complete objectives as a collective, sharing the rewards like packs, coins, or players amongst your community. Foot Stadium is purely aesthetic in nature. Each FIFA player has their own stadium, and you can customize it however you like. From pyrotechnics to logos, to changing the line colors from items you've gained during the season. More content is definitely the theme this year. So, should you play FIFA 21? I'd say yes. There's just enough incentive to start fresh again. Though we know the die-hard fans are going to pick it up anyway. The overall gameplay offers excellent control and tactical variety, and the abundance of under-the-hood improvements is not to be understated. Volta Football is still pretty forgettable, and FIFA 21 most likely won't convince non-football fans to the cause, though the amount of sheer content here more than makes up for its few shortcomings. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed this vid, because we publish videos like this every single week. And leave a comment of your thoughts on the FIFA series below. Also, we'll be discussing FIFA 21 in even more depth on our podcast show next Monday, so check our podcast link in the description at the start of next week. See you guys in the next video.